Lexi, I don't think that bridge is going to support a lot of weight.
You're right. The silly old thing's only made out of tape and popsicle sticks.
Well, what other kind of materials do you think we could use to make this bridge stronger?
I don't know. Hey, why don't we talk to our friend Professor Bridgeton and learn more and more about the wonderful world of bridges?
Awesome idea. Let's go. Hello, Professor Bridgeton. It's nice to meet you.
So nice to meet you as well.
So I was wondering if you could help me delve into the wonderful world of bridges.
Of course. Just tell me any and all of your questions.
Well, first, we were really wondering about the superlatives of bridges.
Great question. The widest bridge is the Akashi Kaioko Bridge in Japan. This stretches an impressive 6,525 feet across. Then the longest bridge is the Weihai Grand Bridge in China, going over 261,588 feet long.
Wow, that's really interesting. Now, can you tell me what the most basic materials for bridge building are?
No problem. The most basic, I would say, is probably steel and concrete.
Amazing. Can you tell me the origin of bridges?
Easily. The first bridges were made by nature, just like a log falling over a river and humans taking advantage of this. But then humans started making bridges and they were just like spans made of wood and eventually stone. Most of these early bridges were poorly built and could hardly sustain any weight. This led to the development of better bridges, which started in the Roman Empire and are still seen today.
Wow, that's so cool. Have there been any disasters with bridges in our area?
Of course. Otherwise known as Galloping Gertie, the 1940 Tacoma Narrows Bridge collapsed in November 7th, 1940, due to a physical phenomenon known as an aeroelastic flutter caused by high winds.
Can you tell me what an aeroelastic flutter is?
Of course. Aeroelastic flutter, or otherwise known as mechanical resonance, is a self-feeding and potentially destructive vibration where aerodynamic forces on an object couple with a structure's natural mode of vibration to produce rapid, periodic motion, like this. Here's a video really showing what this phenomenon looks like. It's really quite amazing what Mother Nature can do.
Galloping Gertie was the nickname given to the first attempt at building a bridge to carry Washington State Route 16 across the Tacoma Narrows in Washington State. It was opened to traffic on the 1st of July 1940 and quickly earned its descriptive moniker for the way it moved in the wind. As is so often the case, the problem was one of funding. Plans for the bridge had kicked off in earnest in 1937, when the Washington State Toll Bridge Authority came into being and took control of $5,000 for a feasibility study into building a suspension bridge. But when the authority applied to the Public Works Administration for $11 million to build a design by local engineer Clark Eldridge, a New York company said they could do it for less. The new design featured 2.5-meter girder supports beneath the roadway instead of the original 7.5-meter ones. This decision was to prove disastrous. And at 11 a.m. on the 7th of November, just 4 months after opening, events showed just how disastrous. A physical phenomenon known as mechanical resonance made the bridge swing violently from side to side before the concrete cracked and the bridge's central span plunged into the narrows below. Amazingly, there was no human loss of life in the incident, although there was one death, a cocker spaniel called Tubby, who got trapped in a car when his owner's father, local news photographer Leonard Coatsworth, was forced to flee for his life. Coatsworth later received compensation of $364.40 for his car contents, including poor old Tubby.
Oh goodness, poor Tubby! What was the bridge made out of to cause such a disaster?
Well, Sylvia, the 1940s Tacoma Narrows was actually made out of what modern bridges are, steel and concrete. But, like the video stated, the only problem with it was that instead of the 7.5 meters proposed for the girders, was actually used 2.5-meter girders instead, due to cost cuts. Now you're probably wondering what these girders are. Let me show you a diagram.
I was wondering if there are any other types of bridges other than the suspension bridge.
Oh, I'm so happy you asked. Why yes, there are many other types of bridges, and will now tell you a little bit about each. First type of bridge is the arch bridge, which has been originally seen during the Roman Empire, used for transporting goods in their aqueducts that are still in place today. This is used in different ways depending on whether or not they're made of steel, brick, or stone. The arch takes or transmits the load from the deck of the bridge to the land on both sides, and the stone was used in many Roman bridges. Lifting bridge is next. These bridges are movable bridges, which enable boats to pass, like this. They vary from simple wooden designs such as many seen in the Netherlands to large steel structures which carry heavy roads such as the Bascule Bridge in Docklands. Next bridge is the beam bridge, which is the most simple form of bridges. It's literally in a basic form and just is a plank or a log passing a stream or a void. Also, there's the swing bridge. Swing bridge is a moving bridge, much like the lifting bridge, which pivots around a gear mechanism. This type of bridge actually is used where there is flat ground, which will not allow boats to pass, like so. Following bridge, and the very last type I have to talk about, is the cable-stayed bridge. This is the most modern type of bridge, and it's a lot newer than other types. Large upright steel supporters are used to transmit the load into the ground.
Wow, now that surely is a lot of information. I love bridges now.
It was great talking to you, Sylvia.
It was great talking to you too.
I hope you learned a lot.
I did. Lexi, I learned so much from Professor Bridgeton.
You did? That's great! What'd you learn?
Well, I learned first of all that we shouldn't be making a bridge out of popsicle sticks, but rather steel and concrete.
Oh, I never would have thought of that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's okay. It's a simple mistake. But we should also make a bridge like a suspension bridge, which can hold a lot more weight, like cars.
That makes a lot of sense. I've seen things like suspension bridges when I drive to Seattle.
Exactly. Let's go.